welcome to London, David.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, welcome back.
Well, it's just lovely to be here. I love London, of
You used
course.
to live here, right?
Yes, I did. In the early 80s, I lived here for 3 years of my life. And now I've just come down from Manchester to work, you know.
Has gay London changed in that time?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a lot bigger now. And there's, you know, it's more above board. I mean, obviously in the early 80s, it was all a little bit more hidden, if you will. So it's all a bit more above board these days.
So in the 80s, and when you started performing and experimenting with your art, did you ever find that there was a fear with how you were expressing yourself, that you were going to be judged, attacked, shouted at on the streets?
Oh yeah, well all that was going to happen, and all that sort of stuff did, yeah. But I think you just go into a headspace where you think, I'm going to do this, and
that's ballsy,
you know, because you're always going to be stamping on somebody's foot or annoying somebody, you know.
What made you so different? Because I haven't really met anyone like you before that does what you do in the way that you do.
Anger was what motivated me when I was younger. I was very angry. I was very angry with the government. I was very angry with how they were dealing with or not dealing with the HIV and AIDS situation.
So some people would protest.
Oh, absolutely.
Other people would take.
Well, we did when we lived in London in the early 80s. We seemed to be forever on a march or a demonstration, you know, because you naturally were in sync and in solidarity with, say, the anti-apartheid movement. You wouldn't think twice, of course. You went on the anti-apartheid demonstrations, you know, yeah.
It's just the done thing.
It was the done thing, yeah, and we all supported each other because we were all consciously members of minorities, you know. And I think what they've tried to do now, this neoliberal agenda, is sort of spread us like margarine throughout this horrific society, as if we've all been embraced, but I still think we've got a long way to go.
You say horrific society.
Yeah.
Describe that.
Well, I think that the inequality, I find that very difficult, that's what I mean.
Specifically for LGBTs?
Well, I think, yeah, it can. I think that LGBT people can be very challenged, especially if they've suffered homophobia in childhood. When
you were a kid, you seemed like the type of guy that would have experimented even at that young age without even realising why you were. I mean, even me. I know I very regularly got my mother's high heels out and played with her makeup when she wasn't there. Occasionally naturally. Yeah, and you know, a lot of my gay boy friends and girlfriends have done the same. Yeah. How was your childhood when you were figuring out yourself? Yeah, well, I mean, I did have moments like that, you know, and I was always attracted to shiny things, pretty things, jewellery, a high heel As you
shoe.
Still are?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not Opal, it's Opalite.
Opalite,
she told me earlier was the cheap-ass version of Opal.
It's affordable version, it's like the pound shop version.
I love it though. Because I grew up in Ireland.
Yes.
And just on the outskirts of Dublin. It was kind of country-ish. And, you know, it's a conservative country still in certain ways. And living at home with your parents, you're limited in what you can do, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And you know, moving here to this glorious melting pot of queerness that is London, you all of a sudden feel like, right, I'm going to make up for some lost time here. But I think some of us, it's almost like we've had to put our lives on hold because we weren't perhaps allowed to have our adolescence as, say, more heterosexual people would have been able to. So it's like on hold, so that we have to sort of do things. Catch up. Exactly. Okay, I think we're here. Great, let's go. Fab. So please, Red, let me introduce you to the retro bar. It looks retro. A lot of memories in here, huh? Yes, absolutely. I recognise this person. Going back a bit now. This is you? Yeah. How long ago was this taken? I would say, probably 20 years ago now. Oh my God. Yeah, and it seems just like that. I can only imagine the memories that were made in this room, huh? Yeah. The romances that were born. We've done shows in here, we've had private celebrations in here. Everything's happened in here. And I've stayed in this building before now, which is wonderful. Here? Upstairs. Yeah, I know. No, in that corner? They managed to get me up the stairs. Yeah. Do you remember your first same-sex kiss and what that was like? Was that in London? Oh. No, it would be in Blackpool. Oh, okay. With another boy at the primary school. Primary school? Primary school. Good on you.
Absolutely.
We're not waiting around,
the thing
were
is,
you?
I mean, you're born this way, aren't you? So, I mean, even at infant school, I knew. You know
Did
what?
you?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Well, you knew that you were into boys, or you knew that you were different?
I knew that I was into boys.
You're joking.
Yeah, no.
What age?
5.
5.
Yeah, at least.
I only got a tinkle in my winkle at about 13.
Tinkle in your winkle, how lovely. Let's drink to that.
Honestly,
and you've got a lovely sparkle in your eye, so you've got a sparkle in your eye.
I got a glint in my eye and a tinkle in my winkle.
Beautiful. And a wink in your what's it?
With what?
And a wink in your what's it?
A wink in my what's it? Oh, that's the...
I'm trying to, you know, high art, I'm trying to bring it up.
Yeah. It's working. It is working.
Culture.
You were saying that right now, romance and the you know the jiggy isn't really on your radar. You're about your performance, your art, and your friends, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But when you did move here first, did you find love?
Well, I think probably on a number of occasions. You know, I think you do when you're younger, don't you?
Short-term love.
Very. Yeah. So, but there were a few people, you know, that sometimes to shake a person's hand isn't enough, is it? You know?
Is there still a strong community spirit here in London?
I think so, yeah. I think, you know, in a way it is a community not under attack, but definitely under pressure. And I think on occasion there are attacks.
Society?
Yeah. I still think it's seen as being potentially dangerous.
Yeah.
Because especially now that we're completely dispensing with gender, this sort of thing, to some people, that's a dangerous place to go.
Coming from Dublin and having travelled the world with my work, the one place I feel absolutely comfortable showing public displays of affection with the same sex is here.
Good.
I've walked down the street holding hands with a guy, I've kissed guys in public and just been super affectionate, and I don't even think about people that are around me. What is it about this city that makes me so comfortable and so many others like that?
Yeah. Well, I think this city, I mean, it has to admit, it's seen it all, hasn't it? And so much has originated here. So I think to, at this stage, be either clutching at its pearls or sort of grabbing at its skirts is a bit sort of disingenuous, really, because the so-called permissive society percolated here, didn't it? It all came out of London. So, you know, if you can't, as one human being to another human being, have an interaction on the street without somebody defining it and getting confused and making it their business, this is what annoys me about people who are critical.
About
if I
that
see
has
somebody, I don't start thinking, oh, I wonder what they do with, I wonder what they do sexually. You know, it wouldn't occur to me to sort of interest myself in another person's private life or anything, really. I think that we're all waking up, actually, and realising that actually together we're going to be a lot more powerful. There's been too much divide and rule, and I think what we are doing is coming together. And if we can replace the government with an organisation that is intelligent, humane, kind, then we may progress as a society.
Do you remember your first Pride in London?
I do. I remember going on gay pride marches in the early 80s, really, and of course they were a lot smaller than they are now, and they felt very personal.
And when you were standing there, your first Pride in London, and you're looking at your community in all its glory, thousands of people, what does that feel like when you're seeing it for the first time?
It was very liberating, and it was just amazing. And the fact that we were walking down the street, you know, being proud, people shouting all sorts of abuse and all the rest of it. Oh yeah, but you didn't care because you were all together.
Okay, you felt safe.
I saw one incident where some construction workers thought it would be amusing to urinate on the protesters below, but some of them were actually into that particular scene.
Oh my God, you are kidding!
No, and started to gather, and they were waving and saying thanks very much. They thought they were giving people a hard time, they were delighted.
It's the opposite. Yeah. People were running over.
And it was a real public reversal, you know, as a piece of performance art is one of the strongest things I've ever seen.
I wish it was filmed. So back then, What kind of things were people fighting for in the parade itself? What were they shouting? What were they talking about?
Well, I think even then, women were having the children taken off them for being lesbian, this sort of thing. Yeah. People may have shared council accommodation with a partner once the partner died. And remember, in the early 80s, went through so much loss with HIV and AIDS. So a partner might die, then the partner who remains would be made homeless and have no right to live in that house, even though it had been their marital home.
It's absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And you saw that with friends of yours?
Yeah, but people had absolutely no rights whatsoever, you know, because they were doing everything they could to... The way they regarded being gay is, some people see it as a behaviour, and that they believe that by being vile and bullying to us and nasty, that they can change our behaviour. They see it as a behaviour. In the same way a dog might sort of pick something up and run off with it. You know, they have to punish us for... They see it like that, as if it's a behavioural problem.
So pride was incredibly important back then.
Yeah, very.
A mixture of both passion, love, but also anger.
And celebrating at Jubilee Gardens and that sort of thing. I mean, you know, this was the scale of it at the time. You know, obviously it's a lot bigger now.
Yeah. Do you think it's a good thing to celebrate your identity in that way?
I do.
In public, walking down these massive streets in the capital city?
Yeah. I think it's very important with visual. And a lot of people enjoy it. You know, in the past, I've had fun at gay prides. A number of years ago, I got the chance to sing with Boy George, you know, in Leicester Square.
I saw that video.
And, you know, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I've got very warm memories of the London Gay Pride, you know.
In the future, say 5 years' time, if you could envisage your perfect pride in London, what would that look like?
I would imagine in 5 years' time, all of us are just going to be in shapeless sort of chiffon gowns, flowers in our hair. And I think that we're going to, in 5 years' time, just be in a perpetual state of ecstasy. We'll free ourselves of all the rules and regulations and all the definitions and all the labels, and we as human beings will all come together.